40,000 years ago, in a cave in southern France, a human being dressed in animal skins stood before a fire and entered another world. Not a world of myth, not a world of imagination, a world they believed was as real as the rocks beneath their feet. We have a name for what they were doing, and it is the oldest religious practice in all of human history. The word shaman comes from the Tungus people of Siberia, from the word saman, meaning one who knows. But the practice itself is not Siberian. Anthropologists have found shamanic traditions on every inhabited continent on Earth. In Siberia, the Americas, Africa, Australia, Korea, the Amazon, dating back at least 40,000 years, possibly 100,000, before agriculture, before writing, before organized religion, before cities. Shamanism is not a religion in the way we usually mean. It is a technology, the oldest human technology for navigating the invisible, the oldest evidence we have. And it is extraordinary. Comes from cave paintings, in Chauvet Cave in France, in Altamira in Spain, in Lascaux, dating between 17,000 and 40,000 years ago. The walls are covered in animals, aurochs, horses, mammoths, bison. But mixed among them are something stranger. Half human, half animal figures. A figure with a bison head and a human body holding a staff. Scholars call them therianthropes. Modern anthropologists believe these are not portraits of monsters. They are the earliest surviving images of shamans, people who could move between the human world and the animal world, who could become both. In every shamanic culture, across every continent, the shaman occupies the same role. They stand between worlds, between the living and the dead, between the human and the animal, between the visible and the invisible. They are called by different names. Angakok in the Arctic, medicine man among Native Americans, Sangoma in southern Africa, Mudang in Korea, Bajay in the Amazon. But their function is always the same: to cross a boundary that ordinary humans cannot, and to return with what the community needs: healing, rain, knowledge, lost souls. Modern neuroscience has begun to explain what shamans have known for 40,000 years. The rhythmic beating of a drum, typically between 4 and 7 beats per second, induces a measurable change in brainwave patterns. Theta waves, the same state between waking and sleep, the same state associated with deep meditation, hypnosis, and certain psychedelic experiences. A 1982 study by anthropologist Michael Harner, who studied 39 different cultures, found that regardless of geography or a culture, the technique was identical. Monotonous drumming, darkness, isolation, and the trance state arrived. The shaman wasn't performing magic. They were performing neuroscience. Siberia is the geographic heartland of documented shamanism. The Buryat, Yakut, Evenki. These peoples preserved traditions that may stretch back to the first migrations of humanity across Asia. A Siberian shaman's drum is not just an instrument. It is a vehicle, its surface painted as a map of the cosmos. 3 worlds stacked vertically. The lower world beneath the earth, where ancestral spirits reside. The middle world, where humans live. And the upper world, above the sky, where the great spirits and sky gods dwell. The shaman rides the drum like a horse, into and between all 3. Among the indigenous peoples of the Americas, shamanism took a form that is perhaps the most widely recognized in popular culture, though usually misunderstood. The concept of the animal spirit guide, a specific animal whose essence the shaman could connect with, draw power from, even temporarily embody, was not metaphor. It was literal belief, grounded in a worldview where every living thing, animal, plant, river, stone, possessed a spirit equal in value to human consciousness. The shaman's role was to negotiate between human needs and the living world's rights, not to dominate nature, to belong to it. In the Amazon, shamanism found its most chemically sophisticated expression. The Paje, the Amazonian shaman, uses ayahuasca, a brew made from two specific plants whose active compound, D-twic, is also produced naturally in the human brain. The Paje does not take ayahuasca to get high. They take it to see, to diagnose illness at a level Western medicine still struggles to reach. Modern clinical trials at Johns Hopkins, at Imperial College London, have now confirmed that controlled DMT experiences produce measurable therapeutic effects, particularly for depression, PTSD, and end-of-life anxiety. What Amazonian shamans knew for 3,000 years, neuroscience is just catching up to. Shamanism did not die with modernization. In South Korea, one of the most technologically advanced nations on Earth, an estimated 300,000 mudang, or shamanic practitioners, operate today. In Seoul, in glass office towers, among engineers and tech workers, the Korean mudang performs a gut ceremony, a multi-day ritual of music, dance, and spirit communication that can cost thousands of dollars, and they are booked months in advance. Because even in a society of smartphones and semiconductors, people still face grief, illness, and questions that no algorithm can answer. In southern Africa, the Sangoma, a Zulu healing shaman, undergoes a calling that cannot be refused. Known as Thwasa, it arrives as illness, dreams, and erratic behavior that Western psychology might diagnose as a breakdown. Among the Zulu, it is recognized as the ancestors speaking. The training lasts years. The Sangoma learns to diagnose physical illness, mental disturbance, and spiritual imbalance using bones, shells, and direct communication with ancestral spirits. The World Health Organization estimates that 80% of sub-Saharan Africans consult traditional healers as their primary healthcare. The Sangoma is not a curiosity. They are a healthcare system. Here is a thought that changes everything. Shamanism did not disappear when organized religion arrived. It went underground and shaped what came after. The concept of a cosmic axis connecting heaven, earth, and underworld, found in shamanism, became the world tree of Norse mythology, the ladder Jacob climbed in Genesis, the axis mundi in Hindu cosmology. The shaman's three-world journey became the framework for Dante's Inferno. The healing spirit guide became the guardian angel. Even the Christian concept of the Holy Spirit descending as wind or fire, the animating breath that enters the body, echoes the oldest shamanic experience of all, the spirit entering the chosen one. The most startling development of the 21st century is this: modern medicine is rediscovering what shamans have practiced for millennia. Johns Hopkins University now runs a full psychedelic research center. The FDA has granted breakthrough therapy status to psilocybin and MDMA for treatment-resistant depression and PTSD. Clinical trials using rhythmic drumming show measurable reductions in chronic pain and anxiety. Indigenous plant knowledge has contributed to over a quarter of all pharmaceutical drugs currently in use. Shamanism was never the opposite of science. It was the first science, the first systematic attempt to map inner human experience and use it for collective healing. Mircea Eliade, the greatest scholar of shamanism, defined it this way: the shaman is the one who suffers, dies, and is reborn. Every shamanic tradition, without exception, includes a period of crisis before the calling is accepted. Illness, isolation, a confrontation with death. The shaman is not the one who has all the answers. They are the one who has faced the deepest questions and returned. Perhaps that is why, in every age, in every culture, people have always sought them out. Not because they're magicians, because they've been to the edge, and they know the way back. 40,000 years ago, a human being in a cave asked the oldest question: what is beyond what I can see? They found a way to look. And every shaman since, on every continent, in every era, has been answering that same question. We may have traded caves for cities, drums for smartphones, but the question hasn't changed. And maybe neither have we. If this moved you, subscribe and tell me in the comments, do you believe there are things modern science still cannot explain? Because your answer might be older than you think.